unbelievable freshwater lake, unbelievable quality of drinking water, until a few years ago, third of the drinking water of the state of Israel was taken from the lake, pushed all the way up with pumps to the mountains and all the way to Tel Aviv. Even today, the huge water carrier that was opened in 1964 takes the water, some of the water, all the way to Tel Aviv and the northern Negev, the desert, to make it flourish. Who could believe that? And Chaverim, look at that. The visibility, it's a little bit morning. I hope we know visibility will be much better. But on the other side of the lake, in a moment you will see such a beautiful, beautiful view. Other side of the lake is the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights, we are going there. Later, the second part of the day, we'll be traveling all the way up to the Golan Heights. Don't forget, crazy Syrians were sitting on the Golan Heights, on the other side of the lake, until a second ago, until 1967. Who could believe that? Today, it sounds like a science fiction. Think about having this ISIS, Shmaisis disaster, people decapitating each other above the Sea of the Galilee. This madness, like the craziest place on the planet, is now, thanks to him above us, is on the other side of the Golan Heights, because we took it in a terrible, terrible, terrible battlefield of the 9th of June 1967, but then we took it, and you know, of course, some of you even remember. Who can explain this miraculous victory of 1967, beating these huge armies in 6 days, taking Sinai Peninsula 3 times as big as the state of Israel, uniting Jerusalem and taking the Judah and Shomron, where all the Bible stories happened, and the Golan Heights from Syria. Truly an unbelievable victory, and we are going to touch it. I will take you, Shalom will tell you also about the battles on top of the Golan Heights. I think it's remarkable, it's important to see. So Chaverim, don't forget, when we are driving near the shores of this beautiful lake, we are actually 670 feet, almost 700 feet under sea level. Isn't that crazy? If you are standing on the shores of the Pacific or the shores of the Atlantic, you are 700 feet above the bus.
Wow.
Shalom, we are scuba diving here, okay? So that's truly a world record. That's the lowest lying freshwater lake in the world.
Wow.
Because from here, the Jordan River empties the lake and goes lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, all the way to the Dead Sea, which is the lowest place on dry land, of course. And you know that Yarden, if we said yesterday that Aliyah means ascending, Yerida means descending, either on stairs, even actually spiritually. Yored or Yarden, going down physically in elevation, going down, and actually going down from the source of life all the way to the Dead Sea. And that is disaster over there. So this is truly, I told you, nothing is coincidental. There are endless meaning in the words themselves. And I told you, no che in Hebrew. So it's not Jordan, it's Yarden. The Yarden River is the name of the river that feeds the Sea of the Galilee from the north, from the left-hand side. And the name of the river is the name of that river that empties the lake all the way down to the Dead Sea. And of course we are going there, we have a full day in the Dead Sea next week. We are going all the way down there from Jerusalem. So Chaverim, look at that. The sea is so important. Actually, I told you we solved the question of desalination, the question of through desalination. We solved the problem of water. Today we are taking much less water from the Sea of the Galilee, because we supply, if we took 350 million tons of water a year from here, now we produce 600 million tons of water, desalination, as California should do probably, through desalination facilities in the Dead Sea. So this is fantastic, my dear friend. Here, look at the archaeological excavation over here. My friends, everywhere you take an espresso spoon and you dig in the ground, shalom, archaeological site, you stop digging, you call the archaeological excavation, and here, believe it or not, ancient Magdala was found. Mary from Maria Magdalena. Maria Magdalena, she lived here. More than that, not according to post-biblical exegesis and interpretation, she was probably an owner, landowner. She owned property. Owned property. She was not a poor woman, because usually women in the biblical time, Second Temple period time, were named after her father. You know, Rebecca, son of Joseph. You know, they were not named after the what is called the toponym, place name. She was named Mary, or the famous Maria from Migdal, from Magdalena. Maria Magdalena. Magdalena is the case, and that means Mary from Migdal. More than that, listen to the Hebrew. Magdalena means nothing in Greek. Migdal means a tower. Because more than that, the full name was Migdal Nunia. Nun, you know the name Nun because Joshua, son of Nun. Nun is a fish. Probably they were drying fish, like salmons, you know, the St. Peter fish. They were drying them on structures that look like towers. That is the meaning of the name Tower, the village that is named the Tower of the Fish. Marie from the Tower village, and Maria or Miriam, and she is from there. More than that, the Franciscans, they planned to build a commercial center over there, and they were digging in the ground. Immediately they found a continuation of the site of Migdal, and to the shock of the archaeologists, they found, of course, the lower level, the foundations of, listen to that, a first century AD synagogue from the time of Jesus. A little bit Jesus and a little bit later, probably 40 or 50, over there in Migdal. It's unbelievable, unbelievable, because they actually can date it according to a coin that was found there, probably 37 AD, and that means when he was walking on this land, the synagogue was over there. Very, very few synagogues. Listen to that. Synagogue is a later invention. After the destruction of the temple, they decided not to build a third one, and actually rabbinical Judaism moved into synagogues. And then synagogue became an establishment everywhere. But when the temple was there in Jerusalem, there were very, very few synagogues in remote places. Over there was one. So that is the synagogue that Mary Magdalene, she was praying in that synagogue, she visited that synagogue, and that will be a major, major attraction. Look at the bananas! Bananas are everywhere, and they plant them more and more. You know that banana, maybe, it's not a tree. It's actually a huge herb, because it has only, you know, if you pile the huge leaves, you will not find the trunk. It's like a big herb, or whatever you call it, perennial herb, and that's subtropical. You can see, is it blue or violet, whatever, the bananas are covered with plastic, and that is to prevent fruit-eating bats from munching, and birds from having a banana for dinner or lunch, because we have those, they are cute and lovely.